this isn't about saving the planet. It's about being seen to save their egos and their virtue signaling. It's the oldest story in the book. One rule for the socialist elite, a totally different one for the rest of us. They get class flights. You get the bill for them. You get the bill for their climate change plans. You get the bill for their net zero hypocrisy. You are left colder and poorer. But Red Ed up there in the air, he'll be quite all right. I wonder if he had a nice, refreshing glass of champers at the taxpayer's expense. Now, staying with matters green and zany, this is the deputy leader of the Green Party, right? And you're not going to believe this one, right? Because not only are they eco nuts like Ed Miliband, but they are also open borders extremists. And this is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the punchline to the entire migrant crisis. Because these open border nut jobs at the Green Party, well, they've suddenly joined our call for border controls. Why? Well, because the border finally arrived in their wealthy, leafy backyards. You could not make it up. They say, we need open borders, we need more migrants to come here. But when you put them in their communities, all of a sudden they fear for their safety, they fear for their children, they fear for their communities. Ah, quelle sodding surprise! This is Wealden, right? Wealden. And the eco-zealot hypocrites, the Green Lib Dem Alliance running Wealden District Council, just discovered that the Home Office wanted to house 600 male asylum seekers in a local military camp in Crowborough. Now, if you're from Crowborough, I'm with you. I'm with you on this assault and impertinence being foisted upon your community by a Labour government that cannot control our borders. But it is rich that the elected officials that you voted for, the Greenies, the open border Greenies and Lib Dems, suddenly all that refugees are welcome here, open my borders, stretch them wide. All of a sudden, that nonsense has vanished. The hypocrisy is so thick, you could build a wall with it, right? You could cement it across and meet Sir Keir Starmer's housing targets for all of his new migrant mates, Copenhagen. First of all, the council itself, the Green Lib Dem Alliance, it hasn't bothered to host a single public meeting about this because they know that it's totally contradictory to their national messaging. They left that to the local Tory MP, Nusrat Ghani, and wait for it. The Reform Party, you heard of them? We're the ones on the ground, as usual. The council meeting was a masterclass in chaos. It was a total shambles. At the start of this meeting, the Green councillor said, no legal action, our barrister says we cannot win. And then halfway through, the deputy leader of the Green Party, who's this lass on your screen here, she says, well, we'll consider taking action because by the end of the meeting, after 3 grueling hours of getting a total pasting and an earful from very angry, understandably so, residents, they said, we intend to take legal action. It was a total U-turn. They were like green rats in a sack, rats up a drain pipe. They went from total surrender to revolution against this Labour government's open borders, migrant madness, zealotry in just 3 hours. They don't have a plan. They're just terrified of the people that they're supposed to actually represent. But the best part here is that they complained that taking legal action costs money. You think, how much do you think it sudden well cost to house these so-called asylum seekers? I'll tell you, it's tens of billions. This is the same council, the Green Lib Dem Alliance, whose Green deputy leader, that Rachel Millward, look at her, middle class, as you can see. She grandly launched a new project for £450,000. Now, what did she do? Was this to protect the community? Was this to hire more police? No, it was to celebrate Winnie the Pooh's 100th birthday. At least the migrants coming over to live in her leafy part of the world will get to celebrate Winnie the Pooh, eh? I'm sure that's right up their street. So let's get this straight. They've got £500,000 for a sodden teddy bear, but not a penny to protect their own residents from a failed Home Office coup and their policies putting us all at risk. You couldn't make it up. The Green Deputy Leader, Rachel Millward, a real woman of the people. She lives in a 1.6 million quid 6-bedroom house with a swimming pool. Maybe we could get some migrants moving in with her, eh? Where was she when the Home Office was announcing the plans that are terrifying their residents? Well, she was on holiday, sunning herself. The absolute definition of the liberal left elite. I wonder if she'll say she was offsetting our carbon emissions. They virtue signal from their mansions, they fly off on holiday, and they leave the rest of us to deal with the consequences of their ideology. But if you need one final killer fact, well, here it is. Because the same local Green Party that is now being ridiculed for opposing this camp is the same party that was campaigning to designate the entire of East Sussex. I don't know if any of you are in East Sussex, but I'd be worried if I was. They want to designate it, the entire county, as a county of sanctuary for migrants. So congratulations, I say to the Green Party, you got your wish. Your sanctuary's moving in next door. But no, you don't like that, do you? Because the sanctuary, you thought it wouldn't be in your town, did you? You thought it would be in deprived communities in the likes of Durham, in Dumfries.